I don't have a gavel, so you guys are going to have to behave tonight. We obviously don't have a quorum with 0 aldermen here in attendance. So we're going to open this up. It's going to now become a town hall. We're going to answer your questions. I do want to announce that William Stevens of Munson & Munson is our temporary city municipal attorney right now. So he can step in. He and his partners to help us out. And then, of course, we've got a teacher here tonight with us. And of course, Chief Jones back there. So, I suppose we could do citizen comments. We can, whatever you guys want to ask, we'll answer questions. I'll tell you what I know. It's not a lot, but we can do that. I will ask that you come to the podium, though, and only speak from the podium so that nobody's speaking over someone else or out of turn, and that we can be a little bit more structured. I do want to start with something that's incredibly important to me. I keep it in my binder for every meeting, and I read it before I come out here. In May, when I took my oath of office, this is my statement of oath. I, Karen Sauer, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of the mayor of the state of Texas and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God. And I'm doing that tonight. It's unfortunate that 5 others also took that oath and are not honoring it tonight. And I'm so sorry for that for you guys, because it does not hurt me, it hurts the people of Gunter. So, I'm sure you've got lots of questions, so if you would like to make your way to the podium and start asking questions, I'll answer them as best that I can.
With the removal or the resignation of all 5 of them, are they aware that they're still supposed to be here to fulfill their duties? For one, if they do not fulfill their duties, what actions can we take in order to keep the city operating as it should? And the other question would be, understand that if you've got 2 or more, you have to have a special election. Can you tell us where we stand on that?
So there are a lot of unanswered questions, because this has never happened before. I've talked to a lot of people in the state of Texas, lots of attorneys, I know William has as well. Not one person has been able to answer that question, what to do when something like this happens. What I've asked them to do is to come to the meeting, and at least 3 of them, so we have a quorum, we can accept 2 resignations, fill those 2 spots, and then 1 at a time accept the others, where you accept a resignation with the body intact, appoint, oath in, and now you've got a new seat. That one can be dismissed and go on. We would do that until we fill all 5 seats. That would be an option, if they don't hold their seats, why not give them someone who does? What they've done is refuse to take part in that process, and it's going to leave us unable to do any business for you guys until we do hold a special election. The next uniform date would be in March. We're probably not going to be able to do that because of the deadlines. We have to do it quite a bit ahead of time. That means that we are holding an election in May. I'm not going to be able to do any business for you until May. That's incredibly detrimental moving forward. I can't even explain how detrimental that's going to be for you guys, and I'm sorry. I did ask them to be here to do that. Patsy agreed, and then she changed her mind. That's where we are.
Excuse me, maybe can you explain what detrimental means to us? Like, what are some examples of what's not going to occur between now and when we solve this problem?
So you guys have heard over the last few months the reason they needed to control the mayor and have more meetings, more control over the agenda was the shot clock, right? New legislation that is going to cause us to not be able to respond quickly enough. And then, you know, certain people are able to get things that we might not approve of just by delay of clock, because it will enact by, just as a matter of law. If we can't deal with it in a timely manner, that's going to happen. That process is with plats, it's with all sorts of permits. We're going to have a problem here. 2038 petitions that are going to be wanting to, you know, remove themselves from the ETJ, that'll happen. We'd like to go on the record with some, you know, items such as that we can say, okay, so we officially object in the event that future, you know, cases, it's found unconstitutional. We've preserved our right because we did that up front. And then we would have standing to reverse that in the future. We're not going to be able to do that. Now it's just going to happen as a matter of law. We have at least 4 large projects of development that are happening right now. We're going to delay them. These are businesses and developers that want to come in and build communities and residential communities, cafes, restaurants. We're costing them thousands of dollars if we can't move forward a step at a time in those processes. It's going to create a problem. I'm looking around to see if anybody's here. I ran into Mr. Cleveland Smith this morning. He has the Meadows. He has some other development that's in the works as well. This is a gentleman with 3 of his sons that run, you know, these development projects that are going to bring us a lot in revenue. He told me this morning all of the Meadows is sold out. When they get in here, he mentioned something like $2 million a year in appraised value. That's a lot of money for us. But we're going to create some problems for him if we can't get things. He needs something on the NZ right now. In January, some things are coming that will it'll be detrimental to him. Yes.
So, Mayor,
yes.
what can we as a community do? Who should we be writing to? Who should we be contacting so that we can get some momentum behind this? Because clearly the council members do not have our best interest at heart. This is a demonstration of that, not showing up and knowing the consequences of that to the people of Gunter. So what can we do?
I would ask that any of you that know them personally have a conversation and ask them why they would want to do this to you, because it's not about me. You can be mad at the mayor. You're not doing anything to me. I'm not the one suffering except for my home value, just like the rest of you. I live here too. I care about the city. But to do this to the people of Gunter, this is wrong. This is wrong. I would hope that they'll reconsider, and they'll at least allow us to go through the process of appointing a new body. So reach out to them. If you're friends with them, if you know them, have a conversation. As far as the state, I've talked to Springer's office, I've talked to Reggie Smith's office, I've talked to the Secretary of State, I've talked to the AG, I've talked to the commissioners, I've talked to a lot of people. William's been doing the same. I have attorney friends that have been doing the same, and we just don't have, do you have any other answers that I don't know yet?
So, as been said multiple times, this just hasn't happened anywhere else. There's not really a roadmap to follow. You don't hear me? So there's not really a roadmap to follow because it just hasn't happened. The statutes don't anticipate the entire body stepping down. The provisions are there assuming that there's something left to work with, and here it's just complete abdication of all their responsibility. There is an Article 16 constitutional obligation for holdovers, but if you can't make them come here, or if they don't show up, even if you could make them come here, you can't make them open their mouths and vote. It's debilitating. There are provisions to get the governor to give us special permission for an emergency election. We can certainly pursue that route, but other than that, we have 45 and 75-day limits on elections, even if they're special elections, which means we're either looking at March or May if we can fit those in. And until then, the only other thing we could do possibly is go to court on some issues, not every issue, and maybe get the judge to allow us to do certain things. But it's going to be an item-by-item basis. there's no good answer. And
Is there any like legal recourse that the citizens of Gunter could potentially take to help move this along? I mean, that's honestly a worst case scenario. It's not what I want to do, but I also don't want to be in a city that can't move forward because people can't play nice in the sandbox.
the legal options, the statutes just don't have provisions for any kind of coercion, penalty, punishment. They expect people to do what they're supposed to do just because the statute's there. It's ultimately a political problem, and as the mayor was saying, if you do know any of the current aldermen, the ones that have resigned, they are under Article 16 holdovers, and they could come back, do one last service to the city, which is allow a vote to be taken to replace aldermen. They can be replaced one at a time. They don't have to all step down the same day. They can be replaced every 10 minutes. It's not something that can't be dealt with, but they have to cooperate.
Are we going to request that emergency from the mayor, or from the governor?
We're doing everything, every avenue. Anybody who's willing to help us, we're asking for help. Yes, we're doing all of that. Another important note to mention is that there was a lot of conversation, a lot of upset about our $4,000 tag-along election to have Prop 8 placed on the ballot. This is going to be our own. It is going to cost us a lot of money. It's going to devastate the school system's election as well. They're probably going to pay twice. It's not in our budget. So that's a problem there too. So if you're upset because of Prop 8, this is a lot worse. This is something that the people didn't ask for. And I think that's unfair to you guys. Yes, come on.
I'd like for the media to hear this and maybe play this clip. There are 5 people right now that have hamstrung this city. We cannot move forward because of their cowardice. If they will come back here one more time, sit down and make one vote, people here will step up and fill those positions.
Yes.
So we're all pleading with them, grow up and do this. That's what we're asking. Come back one more time, be a man, be a woman, and do it.
Considering the unusualness of the circumstances, do you think we would get dispensation from the governor for us to go ahead and appoint, but then all positions will be elected? We'll have to run for election in the May, so it's not to cost anything, but also to be able to do the business of the city and not hamstring everybody else, and developers.
If we could even get a provisional council in here, just somebody appointed until we can get an election, that would be great. It's at least we can take care of the everyday things that are going to come our way. Let's say some developer comes in and they want to, apply for a plat. We can go through that process, but without the council being able to run that, whatever the needs are through P&Z and get them, and get a recommendation from them and then coming here and voting on it, it's just going to happen by matter of law, whether it meets our needs or not, because we're not going to be able to respond to it. That's a problem. That's a real problem.
Yep.
This isn't just, angry or frustrating people who want to do business with us. We have a lot of people, a lot of developers excited to do business with us. This is worse. This is opening the door for anybody to come and do what they want, and we can't stop them. That is a problem. For 6 months. 6 months.
I have something to say for later, but I'd like to know about the NSF attorney here.
Is, who is? I'm not sure.
I'm here, it's a public meeting.
Is, okay. Yeah. I mean, it is. It's
Because I do feel that the Parker City Council is continuing to work with the NSF, Heidelberg, and other authorities, other entities.
I do wonder myself sometimes. I'll tell you this, with the termination of the agreement, they're not on a problem right now. But but we have big problems coming our way. If we can't settle some things, we're gonna be devastated. I want people to understand that we will be devastated. We will not, it's possible we won't be able to recover some of the things that will happen in the next 6 months.
Is there any injunction, mandamus that we can request from district judge or county judge to get us through the next 10 to 15? Yeah, to put the shot clock that we're talking about on hold?
Right, and I asked William to move forward with that. He was talking to the group. Do you have any information?
We're having a meeting.
Speaker.
Yeah. So I have a meeting in the morning at 8 o'clock with my entire firm. We'll be working through all those possibilities. All of that is on the table, but again, there's just no roadmap for this. It hasn't happened anywhere else that I know of. And there's not a lot of case law, so whatever we do, we're inventing it as we go.
It's uncharted.
And my understanding is there is no way to force attendance at this meeting by order of the mayor to comply with.
Can't rule that out. We don't know for sure. Again, we're in uncharted territory. A lot of people are working on this, trying to figure it out.
Well, I'm asking because maybe
We don't have any answers yet.
But maybe my question now is, why don't we push the envelope and wait for permit, or, apologize for our action later and just try to force that hand now? We have local police officers, the mayor's the power of the city to enforce all state laws, and you do have the lawful ability to order their attendance.
Well, let's be clear. This is a violation of the Constitution of Texas.
That's my
This
point.
is not statute. This is big, and I will say this. If I get information back from our governor's office or our AG, and they give me advice to move forward, I will hold them accountable. I will. I have to. That's my duty to you. We can't shut down our city for 6 months. There is no reason to not show up one last time. Be an honorable public servant one last time. And if you want to step down from your seat, that's fine. Don't take it with you and hold it hostage. Allow someone to come in and take your seat if you don't want it. But shutting down the city, I don't know why anybody would think that that is a good thing. How anybody can think that that's reasonable even. It does not make sense to me. But that pressure is going to come from you guys. You're their neighbors. You voted for them. Ask them to do the right thing. That would make things a lot cleaner and easier. It shows some leadership.
Yeah.
Right?
Connie and Larry Keys aren't gonna listen to me.
Or me.
Or any of us.
Obviously, there's a real good reason why they've done this, and they know exactly what they're doing, and I'm speaking of the 5 council members.
Yeah.
The citizens of this town have made it very clear for the last 7, almost 8 months, that we are unhappy with this council, that we are unhappy with their actions. They have made every attempt and every effort that they could at every meeting to go against us. They now know that they can drive one final knife into our sides and shut the city down. That's exactly what they're doing. That's the exact intent. They know that that's what they're doing. I believe firmly that they know what they're doing, and they're doing it calculated. There's a reason why they decided to all quit at once. And, they're cowards. They're obviously cowards. We called them worse in the last 7 months, but very simply, they are cowards, and they need to step away from this town completely if this is what they think they want to do. They should not show their face to anyone, because they are going to be ridiculed.
I think it's going to make it worse if they can't allow somebody to take their seats. I think a lot of people would offer forgiveness if they would just allow us to appoint someone in their place and they can walk away.
If any of them need to be served with a subpoena or an injunction, I'll volunteer to do it. Don't pay a service, I'll stay up day and night to serve. Just let me know.
I understand.
I just want to say, I'm on the ballot. I'm Jessica Dunn. I was the one that actually showed up today. I was hoping that when things happen, I thrive in chaos. I joke about that, and so I'm here to help, however, because I love this community. And I've lived in the water district for 10 years, and I see what happens when you don't have government, and how all these things happen, and you don't have a say. And I don't want that to happen to this community, because I love it, and I want my family to grow here and be here for many, many years. So when this happens, I'm looking forward to sitting there and fighting with you on every single thing that we can do to make this happen. So, thank you.
I would advise you guys to reach out and, chat with Jessica. I'll tell you how that came about, because you just saw what I saw when I first met her. She reached out in August. She just got here, had been here a couple months or so, and was so excited to be in a real city government. I think that's interesting, because she doesn't know yet. So we chatted, and we spent about 3 hours at the brew house and had a good time. And she's high energy. When I found out actually who she was, I knew of her without even knowing that's who I had in front of me. She did, if you look at her resume, she's done a lot of work with, it's the Save 380, right?
Make 380 safe.
Make 380 safe. So I lived in Bristol at the time, and 380 was right behind me in the Greyhawk community. It was right behind me. And I remember all of the fatalities that were happening. It was a huge, huge discussion. Some of you guys may have remembered too, we're fairly close. But she started that. She fought that. She went to Austin and created legislation for it. So she's qualified. There was no reason to not have her on this panel, right? This board to become an alderman. And I think that she'll do good things if we can ever get you on board. So, talk to her afterwards, chat with her, and you'll get a feel for who she is. She asks a lot of questions, and that's good. That's good.
So I'll start with my speech.
Okay.
We have an opportunity to work together to make this town the best it can be. The question is, will we as citizens, accept the challenge? And I think we will, once we get past all this. I saw a comment on social media from Patsy's husband asking, where was the support? Honestly, I do feel bad for Patsy, and I wish she would come back. I think she appeared to have walked into a bad situation. Did she know that the NSF had been planned long before she ran for office? And of the 5 members, she was the only one who showed at least some remorse. However, she did resign. I think the city council is sabotaging us. They think we are nothing but show hatred for them, but for me, it's disrespect. I don't respect them anymore. Before BNSF came to light in May, and as more citizens became aware, Gunter was a hot town. People were moving here, paying above asking for homes, rentals were scarce. Now it's just the opposite. One could argue it's the bad publicity, the economy, and so on, but homes are still selling. But just not in certain areas. The ones like mine, that's less than a half a mile from the BNSF Logistics Center. There were at one time 7 or 8 homes for sale in the Wood subdivision. Only 1 sold. However, Bridges doesn't seem to be affected as much because it's on the opposite side of town. Our home values have dropped, some as much as 35%. Our water was sold, just to name a few instances. Remember when we as citizens were blamed for excessive water use over the summer? And now our own mayor, Mr. Milner, sits on the Mustang Water Board. These issues over the past 7 months aren't due to new people moving into Gunter. It's about the deceit that happened under our noses because we weren't paying attention or we were kept in the dark. Citizens have repeatedly asked for the city council to work with us, explain their actions, or simply resign, only to have been met with resistance up until recently. They have shown no regard for the citizens of this town nor our votes. If they had worked with us, maybe Prop A wouldn't have been considered. Again, citizens voted, and city council couldn't accept our vote. There's been constant attacks on Karen since the day she was elected, and honestly, I don't know why you stayed. Ever wondered just how much she could accomplish if she wasn't putting out constant fires? Is Karen perfect? No. Are any one of us perfect? No. Who cares what her experience is? Citizens wanted and voted for a change. If you don't like her, vote her out the next election. I can tell you, though, that the days of the good old boys club, it's over. Citizens are paying attention and will hold everyone accountable. Several citizens have been vocal. We've been called the mob, the minions, and so on. However, there's a silent majority in this town, and honestly, I don't blame that they're silent because there's been a long history of retaliation and intimidation in this town for a very long time. If anyone wasn't at the meeting last night or didn't watch it, I highly encourage you to find it and watch it. There was quite a bit of exposure that was brought to light of things happening with our city council. It also brings question as to why 4 of the 5 remaining city council members all resigned on the same day. Was it to throw a wrench in something that Connie was adamantly against last week, or is an attempt to shut the city down? Either way, they have an oath to uphold, and it looks like they're choosing not to. Maybe the state will have to step in, but be careful what you wish for. I hope every employee and city council board member was required to sign an NDA, as I wouldn't want them to continue to fuel and feed BNSF, Heidelberg, concrete plants, etc. All the projects that they've been adamantly supporting and stabbing the citizens in the back. I also hope all their access to all city property has been properly removed, including their emails, and the locks have been changed along the door codes. I'm almost done. I encourage anyone willing to step up and run for council to please do so. We have a town full of bright and talented people. I'm sure we as citizens agree that we will support you as long as you are honest, forthcoming, transparent, and working for the citizens of Gunter and our town. If you're currently on a board seat and don't plan to get along in the sandbox, we kindly ask you to step down so someone can. This also goes for any future elected officials. As for outsiders looking to obtain a position in our city, please don't let the recent happenings tarnish your opinion of Gunter. Our town has come to a crossroad that we can either continue down the same path or we can blaze a new one. I hope we can all agree that online bickering and one-sided conversations need to stop on both sides. I've been guilty of it for sure. We need to set our differences aside and find a common ground and work together because we are Gunter.
That's right.
Let us build our town up and not tear it down. Thank you.
So I was just going to say, like I said last time, I'm not going to go into all of it. I mean, I want to because they're here, but I guess I don't want to. Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So first of all, let me say that I feel like I was let down by this town. It would be easy for me to just move to another town. I mean, I'm a business owner, was a business owner up to 3 years ago. And I was upset to find out, and I'll go into that, but I was upset when I got out of the hospital. I tried to put in a complaint with the police department and give someone to take my call, but refused to take my complaint. And so none was actually filed. And then when I tried to get the records for my wellness, the 2 wellness checks that were called in, plus my son's suicide attempt, when they said I was dead. The one that they actually got me out, that record is actually where they were able to find it, probably feature. I was able to find it, but the other 2 records don't exist as far as I'm going to. And then I was advised to take action against the city, but I wrote the mayor twice and got no response. I talked to Cheryl.
The other mayor,
Yeah.
I responded
Another
to
former
it
mayor.
before I even.
I was supposed to say my address, wasn't I? But anyway. So, as a business owner and trying to get records and trying to call and trying to get a response from the former mayor and one of the city council members, the perspective that I have is that the city is shaky. Like it really is. I'm not surprised that we have people missing because honestly, I was also informed that Jeff Gibson, when he came in, he wasn't vetted. He just ended up getting put into the position. But the thing is that 6 months before he got here, the mayor of Bedford actually called him out on poor police training and also high turnover. And so I was in the Fort Worth Star Telegram. If anybody wants to look that up, it's public record. And so I was upset about that. I was really upset to find out that he actually had a position of authority in a town without being vetted. And so my hope is that whoever we put in any position is actually vetted thoroughly. That we can make sure. I feel like we want transparency as a town. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's been done in the dark, but we've switched on lights now, so we're going to pay attention. And so I'm so sorry that you're not able to. I was like, that's unfortunate that that's not able to happen. But so basically, what happened is I ended up getting 2 COVID checks, and my temperature just kept going up. And I went over 105. I flashed on my bedroom floor, and I was out. So my friend that night actually called a wellness check because he texted me using massive texts, and so he actually called in the wellness check, and apparently the police came to my door. I don't know what else they did, but my neighbor came over and said, "Hey, I can get the key to my home for you. It takes like 20 minutes." And they proceeded to drive away anyway. They didn't want the key, they didn't want anything. So they drove away. I didn't actually get found until 3 days later. And I wore shorts today, so if anybody wants to see the scars, it took 27 surgeries to actually keep my leg. And I have holes in my back, like all over like my back. And then I have like scars like all over. They had to kind of rebuild my leg, so it's got like a lot of like stuff in there. But anyway, so like I said, I owe Officer Satchery my life because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today. But the doctors also said if the first officer had done the job, then I would have taken 2 weeks of antibiotics. I would have walked out in front of the hospital.
Who was the first officer?
I know it was, I think it was Houston, but, or somebody else, I think. But anyway, I lost my business. I was in the hospital for a year. I was in a coma for half of that. I lost my business. I lost all my money. I lost my credit. I lost my relationship. I was engaged with a friend who lived in my house. And my son, when he found out that I had passed away, he was going through a divorce. I was actually helping him through that. But when he thought I was dead at the hospital, he actually came to my house and attempted suicide. So, and for some reason that record's not, I can't find that record. I don't know if it's accurate.
You have that one. I found that one. I got it. Yes. It's taken me a long time to find this as well.
Yeah.
So I do have that one.
So anyway, I feel like I don't know what the recourse is for me. I can't just like make everything pop up again and just happen all over again. But just knowing that I feel like the Gibson coming in was agenda driven, and I can totally see like just by the actions of the people here, that's the way it is. I'm disappointed, but it also makes me fight mad as far as the Gunter citizen, which makes me want to like throw my name in the ring as far as any kind of like leadership and stuff like that. I want to get more involved, and I know we're all paying attention, so I think just as long as we're keeping all in check.
Thank you. if you have any questions.
I'd like to say
You can
something
be
real
like,
quick. My name's Mark Merrill, and I was the mayor here for 2 years. Immediately after the Arbuckle aggregates issue was raised back in the early 2010, 11, 12 timeframe. And somebody said earlier that we're watching and we're all going to be able to move forward and the corruption and everything is killed. I thought that when I was elected. And what I will tell you is, if you do not continue to pay attention, it will come back.
That's right.
Mark Miller was the mayor that was elected prior to me. He resigned midterm. An individual who was not elected was made the mayor. He was appointed to a seat and then turned into the mayor. 2 weeks later, they hired Mark Miller to be the city administrator. He was city administrator when I was mayor. He resigned while I was mayor because I wasn't going to put up with the stuff that he was doing. He became mayor again. Okay? I was mayor for 2 years. I left Gunter after that experience. I moved. I didn't think I was ever coming back. I'm back. I don't live in the city limits. But I really, really, really love this town. We love living here. I'd like it to stay this size forever, but I know that won't happen. I also know that it won't be this town 2, 3, 4 years from now if we can't fix what's going on very expeditiously. So understand that apathy and not paying attention, not being involved, not coming to meetings, not going to PDC meetings, not going to PNC meetings, that's all it takes. All it takes is to not pay attention and allow other people to make decisions for you that are not in your best interest. So I highly encourage everybody that's here, don't just come to meetings, encourage your neighbors, encourage the people that you see at school or at the football game or at church to get involved. I cannot run for office. I don't live in the city limits. I'd be happy to serve on a board if I could be appointed. But I still come to meetings because it has a direct impact on my quality of life. And I think we all realize that now. But we can't forget it. And complacency is the number one thing that's going to get us back to where we are right now. We have got to be active in trying to drive the bus forward. I appreciate the mayor and the things she's done. I appreciate Deetra and all she's put up with. Even from back when I was mayor and she was not city secretary. You know, I appreciate William and the sacrifices he's making. And I appreciate all the people in the room that are making sacrifices, being here instead of being at home with their loved ones, watching TV or doing what they want to do at Christmas time. You know, I wish there were more citizens here. I wish this place was standing room only, or that we were at the high school because there are so many people concerned. I think it's going to be big news, and I think it's probably going to make the Dallas newscast in the next day or two, to be honest. I just hope that whatever we can do, and I know William and Karen are working towards that, but you know, there are citizens in this room that have been begging, including myself, for the Rangers, the DA, somebody, anybody could do something. When I was mayor, I approached the Rangers about taking over the town because there was embezzlement going on, other things going on. But my council, just like you, would not allow me to audit or investigate. So, understand.
Don had that experience as well.
That's right. I mean, they removed his keys. They got rid of another mayor. We have to be diligent in getting quality people onto the council that understand the way the process is supposed to work. The process has been working backwards for 10, 15, 20 years now, and it's got to go and be flipped over. So.
This is our opportunity to come together, raise our hands in here and serve somewhere. You know, we have an opportunity now. I would just ask, you know, obviously I know that the aldermen are watching. They're going to watch this. And I would ask that they would come in one more time and allow us to go through an appointment process to get a provisional council. so that we don't harm our city moving forward. They all say they love it. Show us. Show us you care about the people of Gunter and this city. Do the right thing. Because what we can do moving forward is forgive each other a little bit, right? I think we can overcome some of the things that we all struggle with. I see a couple of heads shaking. I think over time we will. And we have an opportunity to know how hard it's been, but move forward. And then future generations, the people who aren't here, that will be in 3 or 4 years, they'll be able to, draw from the well because of what we build, because of our faithfulness. So we have to move forward, whatever our issues are with each other. This has to be done. We cannot do what we're doing now to the people of Gunter. It's not about us 6. It's about all you and your children, your future, your homes. Everything my husband and I have is in that house. So I would ask that they would do the honorable thing and allow us to do that.
I'm assuming there's a lot of people watching tonight. And if I may ask, how did the council members resign?
I think, so Spencer sent an email Friday. You have to deliver that in person. It has to be a signature, a letter with a signature on it. So he came by yesterday to do that after Deidre asked him to. The other 4, we received emails. Cheryl's was Monday night. The rest of the 3 others were Tuesday, yesterday, and then actually every one of them brought in their letter yesterday.
They brought it in person?
Yes.
Okay. I guess what, I know a lot of people, and I'll read your post on social media about if you're asked to provide the information regarding finding any attorney, can you maybe expand on that?
So that was probably the one thing that bothers me a little bit is that I guess you guys saw how different things were the last couple of months with the attorneys. Got a little weird. There was a reason for that. They wanted out. I do have 2 conversations that were recorded. I was not going to bring that up tonight because I wanted to move forward in positivity. But both of those recorded conversations are about 2 minutes each. And it very clearly states, Andy very crystal clearly explained that I am not the reason that he resigned. So, they exist. I suppose if you guys want to have a coffee and I'll play.
What was his reason?
It wasn't, it's not what it seems.
The reason I ask is that, of course, there's a lot of information, misinformation that is online, and since you are filling, I guess, a town hall meeting today, it needs to be honest with the people to know the truth. I do go back to BNSF, of course, was the start of the downfall of the Gunter, as we all know. Yes, and that's prompted a lot of investigations, which were revealed with a record request. And I guess I see that Mr. Van Zant's left for tonight. I guess he had enough of us. But it's really sad that they come in to insert themselves into our meetings, knowing that we don't want them here. We voice very vocal opinions as to our position. And they came about just in every way possible, the most illegal way council work for them to insert themselves in this community. And that's what's really just a hairy situation when this has all been provided to the DA. Me personally, in his office, 2 separate times on the same day in August, and he refused to take my complaint. Yes, there's a process, and I listened to his process. And it was filed in the correct process locally in August. And he refuses. I even spoke with Ranger Peacock. Everybody refuses to further investigate this council. And I just can't comprehend that information that was given to them, why they continually deny to investigate this. Because there is a lot to uncover that we do not have authorization to get when an open record request. So primarily, I fault DA Resign. He does not help this community, and he refuses to help the community, and needs to be in open records. In a public forum that he has refused numerous times, and he even commented to me probably a couple of weeks ago that he had so much opposition and calls from this community outreaching to him to help, and he never did. Now we're at this point. We're at this juncture. And that's a really sad thing, because he is in office to do his job, which he hasn't done. That's right, enforce the law. Exactly. And so I guess that's all I have for you. Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate everyone at your time. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Well, I just have one request. I want to request it again. I'm going to request it every meeting. I would like to request that we preemptively plan for more involvement from our community and get us in a venue that is forthcoming of that group of people. This is just not welcoming to our community. It's too small of a venue. People have come and many meetings now have left because there isn't a seat for them. And I asked this in the last meeting, and I asked it in a few meetings ago. We need to plan for more involvement, and that starts with finding a different venue. And I know that puts a lot on you guys on top of everything that's going on, but we got to create a space that's welcoming for the community, and this is just not a big enough space. And I'd also like to ask that we do not plan our council meetings on the evenings where we know that the kids have a football game. We don't want our community to have to choose between the 2 events. And that's happened a couple of times as well. I know we moved this special meeting, was originally planned for Thursday. We moved it because we had a good feeling our team was going to win, and they did, and they're going to state tomorrow. But we just need to get a little bit in front of that, because right now it feels like we're kind of behind the ball on this when there's been multiple requests. I know personally I've been requesting since May that we move this to a bigger venue.
So that's a hard one, because it's always been on a Thursday. Yeah, it's by ordinance, so obviously we need council to be able to remove that. If we were gonna say Tuesdays or whatever, that's the legislative bodies, and, that's the task for them. So, as far as the venue, we have to pay for that every time we do it. It's not in the budget. We need money. We could build a bigger state hall. That money is on the way, except we're about to halt it all.
How much is it to rent the high school or the elementary school?
$600.
How much?
600.
Okay.
So,
Can we just the price of tax dollars don't cover that?
Can we use the fire bay?
I would have to talk to the fire chief.
Christmas party thing in there, so.
Yeah. I can say something.
We don't have to solve it here, but we need.
Right. No, we have to know when it's coming. That's more tax revenue, that's more funds to do the things that we need to do, that we're shutting it down. It's shut down. It's effectively shut down until May. Unless they do the right thing and allow us to put it in order. And that's what we should do. And I'll just go ahead and mention, I brought this tonight because I ran across it earlier today. On my personal Facebook on July 19th, I posted something that I remembered for many, many years of nursing, when I went into conventional nursing at the Legion office. We take this oath, that's the Hippocratic oath, And it's long, but this part I posted because it was a tough week. But I do believe that this applies to everything you do, and this is why I do everything I do. So I'll read part of it. So long as I maintain this oath faithfully, and I'm actually referring to mine here as your mayor, because it's relevant. And without corruption, may it be granted to me to partake of life fully and practice of my art, gaining the respect of all men for all time. However, should I transgress this oath and violate it, may the opposite be my fate. I don't want that for myself. It's why I do what I do. I don't want that for any of our aldermen either. So if you're watching, that's not a fate you want. Do the right thing, honor your oath, come in, allow the city to move forward for all of us, and then you can step away in honor. I'll leave it at that unless anybody else has any questions.
It's where we need to be props, Mayor, for standing your ground. I know that you've had to deal with a lot since you've been elected. So, and I mean, you could be doing anything else. Yeah, so before I came here, actually a little bit overlap, but I was a supervisor for Domino's Pizza, so I put in all the pizza places in Salina and Prosper and all that. And when I was a manager, I used to go around and actually troubleshoot all the stores. And a lot of times what would happen is I would actually figure out what was wrong with the store and then go in and fix all those things. And I just wanted to say, you're doing the right things, the wrong people leave. So, and it does happen. I mean, you could actually go the way of the people that are actually steering us in the wrong direction, or you can stand your ground and for what's right, and those people are going to drop off one by one. Now, it's unfortunate that they all dropped off at the same time, but yeah, I mean, you just see, and last week I was even wondering, because I felt like I left at 9:30, but I was actually surprised that we went into 1 o'clock. And I feel like 3 hours of that was just asking questions about how to get rid of the mayor. So at that point, I don't know, it seemed like the lights were on at that point in time. So I just appreciate the people here. Like I said, I could have left, but leaving is too easy. And I want to stand my ground here and do whatever I can to make this a better place. I mean, 6 months. That's it. Hopefully we get something done.
And on that note, we have a lot of good things happening. We have a great staff. Adam's still here. Our police department is growing. Resigned and then said I want to come back. Changed my mind, so he's doing that now remotely. We've got a new attorney. That was amazing. Girls up front, Rebecca and Bethany both wanted to be here tonight. I was like, I don't get a babysit for that. Watch from home. They're great. They're happy. They're very good. There's a lot of good. We're just not, talking about it.
I'm just credible too. I mean, Noah left, like I said, primarily because he was driving so far.
It's 2.5 hours.
Three. Make that drive.
Three, yeah.
It had nothing to do with this town and why he wanted to get away.
Nothing at all.
Make that clear.
That is clear.
But again, my final thing I want to do is just to please to Michelle Rowan, for one. She's 45 plus years in this town. Was principal. My husband was a superintendent here. They've got a huge foundation in this town. I know she's done a lot for the town in 45 years. Is this really the legacy that she wants to leave? Of just walking away and basically destroying us? I hope not. So I hope that she would come back to her thing. Connie Smith has made many attempts to say, that she was always using the best interest of Gunter when she made her decisions. even if we disagreed with them. She was, was very active in trying to get us trees to beautify the place. She said, she wanted to make it on the river and make it beautiful, but yet she wants to destroy it now. That makes no sense to me. Larry Peters, 10 plus years on the city council, obviously he was there for a reason, and he thought he was going to. Now he's just going to destroy us. That, again, that doesn't show me much that he cared much about us. Again, it's obvious. Clearly, they do not have our best interest at heart. I would hope that they would put our best interest at heart now and come back, give us one last chance to appoint some people, give us a council, and then at least say, hey, they leave with grace.
I'm fairly new, about 10 months here, but started coming to these meetings in that 10th month. And I just got to ask a question. I have to say negative, but there's always that statement, follow the money trail. If it's proven or pops up in the future that any of these people, and I don't know them that well, I don't know any of them, don't know their backgrounds, but if it pops up that they gain financial benefits from all of these decisions and shenanigans that were going on, will the city pursue that aspect?
As mayor, if something is brought to my attention, and I have evidence of that, I'll absolutely try to read the ordinance. Absolutely.
Right. I just, once again, it's just something that's, for 7 months, I've asked that question in my mind, I'm going to throw it out there. I hate to see someone gaining financially from the railroad coming in and so forth.
I get why people are curious. I get it. It's a hard, it's a hard thought to get out of your head.
It is. But thank you very much. You're doing a great job. We appreciate it.
I'm going to say nothing about the shenanigans that these pinheads pulled. I'm going to ask, because the gentleman before me, he was talking about how long the executive session lasted. I think more people would come if the meetings were started a little later and you guys had your executive session before we show up. So that we're not sitting here twiddling thumbs, and I'm sure with new people you're not going to have a 3-hour executive session. But I thought there's a lot of people that can't make 6 o'clock. If the meetings were later for the public and you guys did whatever you do behind closed doors, that might make time management a little better.
I've been informed on occasions that we've been called the mob. I know we've been called the minions. So as part of the mob of the minions, I just want to say, Karen, we appreciate you so much. You are trying to do so much for our community. You have been fighting tooth and nail for us. We know that. The council, in a way, I'm glad they're gone. They're causing a problem by what they've done. But they have done nothing but put thorns in your side. And you're trying so hard for us. We appreciate it.
Okay, so nothing scripted here, it's off the cuff. Just telling you, first of all, Mayor, thank you for sticking it out. I left one of the meetings a few weeks ago and I said, if that were me, I'd probably resign. This was ridiculous, but you stuck it out, you honored your oath, we appreciate it. You got other things to do with Deidre, Adam for being here. That's great. William, thank you for stepping up. That's very positive. A little negative, I could go on about the council, how disappointed I am. Okay, I hope they're watching. I mean, they couldn't drive here 5 minutes. My daughter is a law student from Oklahoma, sitting over here. She drove 3 hours to be here. And maybe she'll follow your footsteps, and she can help the city out. But anyway, as far as their gutless and cowardly actions, when I heard earlier today, or earlier this week about the resignation, Christmas came early. I was happy. I mean, it should have been recalled anyway. So you know what? I think to end this on a positive, good. All don't let the door hit you on the way out. I think good things are ahead for Gunter. I think we have a great mayor, good staff. We've got a great police chief. I have a lot of confidence in him. And I think we're gonna have a good council going forward. So it's a little negative right now, not being able to do it, but we're gonna get through it. The cities get by it. I worked for a city, if you look it up, in 1993, where the entire city council was recalled. It made history. And they survived it, it got better. The city will get better. There's good people here. I think we have a good future. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashley Hawkins. I'm just up here because from last week, I understand that are we allowed to post the position for a city admin and post for any of those positions that they had discussed, or because they're not here, the position can't be posted? And I know they can't vote if you do find someone, or if you do find someone, are you allowed to take action, or it has to go to council?
So, no, these are the things I can do. As the mayor, I hire and fire. So we technically do not even have any municipal officers by ordinance. Deidre's a municipal officer. We were supposed to have an ordinance that dictates whether or not that's an appointed or an elected position, but we don't have an ordinance. Yet she is a municipal officer. She's hired, not appointed or elected. So municipal officers are supposed to be by ordinance. That directive is supposed to be made, so we really don't have any. That allows me to continue to fill positions as we need them, so that's not a problem. It's the legislative actions that are a problem.
So like the city admin can still, if you do hire
if we need one,
yes, or what is it, or like first job, the financing person.
We are actually posting that, yes. You said Friday, yes. So we looked over the job description, put all the pieces together for what we need, and he's just gonna post that Friday. So yes, we're looking for that person. We have a really good idea. A couple of good candidates already, so hopefully we'll respond to that, now that they know. But as far as an administrator, I've talked to the staff. They don't need it. What we need is support, physical work, not management, not somebody directing their way. They can reach to me for that, but, for example, Adam knows how to do his job. He needs support in the office, right?
Are any of the positions that y'all are needing help with support, can that be filled by volunteers as a city until things get situated, if council come back and anything like that?
We talked a little bit about that, yeah.
So I know you can post online, I've seen cities online and post for volunteer positions, like when events happen. I think that's something great to consider, because there are people that do care about the community that are allowed to help part of the board. I remember you told me at EDC meeting the other day that the positions you feel as if you ever need help. I think that would be great to be open to the community who would want to fill those volunteer positions if posted.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what William was saying. He's like, of course, all down. No.
No, because there's other, that's what we had talked about it. I sound terrible now. That other cities do that they'll help with the city secretary. So, and believe me, as soon as some of this comes, it would be lovely.
Yes.
So, yes, I've had several. So I don't know that it's anything I'm going to post, because I think, and it's just you saying. I know she said, I know Randy Cochran. There's been several that have come out and said that, they'll be more than welcome to step up. And it might only take you maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours to do that one task, but that's okay.
Yes, if we have to advertise those positions for like an administrator, but right now they don't need it. If they decide they need it, then we'll do that. Yeah, then you have a lot of choose some ideas. They need ideas.
I was wondering if we could just text them and Skype with them and have a quorum and do some business tonight. Keep the business going until they show up.
I wish we could.
I mean, Chris Donna's over there texting. He's going. So, they're all at church. They all go to the same church. Okay.
Which we do. So, well, I mean, Emily and I talked a little bit, Emily, not to throw you out there, but we talked a little bit, and, you know, I mentioned that maybe I'll call an emergency meeting if we can get them to agree to go through that process, and Emily's gonna reach out and maybe help us do that. I mean, if me and Emily can come together and, you know, agree to disagree on some things, to get along, and for the sake of the people to do business, that would, I mean, I think that's great. That's great. We had good conversations. So hopefully she can help us do that as well. I really, you know, they said they love this city. They have an opportunity to show us that. So hopefully they will.
So that means I just wanted to, somebody last week came up to the podium and said, we can't wait until May to like make changes. And like right now I'm thinking, be careful what you ask for.
It's gonna be hard.
But I just wanted to, because it seems like we're thinking about being in SF as kind of like the downfall, but I kind of think that eventually we're going to look back